morning, all of you. We shall continue with Arcane's Mars in the seventh house. Yesterday, we had dealt with the portion still, with the paragraph which dealt with his marriage, his married life, and again his life as a reporter in the paper, the justice. I told you that he had a hectic life. His work was very hectic. He had to go on foot to collect news. He had to go to the magistrate court in the evening. He had to attend the municipal meeting even in Sunday evenings, and academic meetings also he had to attend and collect all sorts of news. But almost all of his news were rejected by the paper because it was unimportant. But still, he worked, enjoying this job. Okay, he enjoyed very much what he was doing. He would go to the murder places, the places where murder occurred. He would collect the news from there, and he says that he was very much interested to use the word liberal, sorry, the term alleged, ALLEGED, because there won't be any problem if you use a word alleged. Okay. And I also told you that the justice paper was not prompt in paying him his monthly salary, and almost for 3 months it was delayed. He didn't get his salary, and so he wrote to the editor that he was not used to getting the payments in not in proper time, not on proper time. And so the editor replied to his letter in a negative tone, and he resented it, and he soon he decided to quit the job as soon as he could afford it. Okay, as soon as he could afford some other job, he will quit this job. In such way he decided. Okay, so here we stopped, isn't it? And there is one instance, hmm, in which, with a history professor. One day, the professor of history, I think he was also working in the same paper. He insisted that the news which Narayan collected should be scrutinized by this professor before publication. And Narayan responded that it was against the freedom of press. Okay, there was an incident like this. Now, money was a big problem for him again. He had to meet all the expenses at home, and the also the expenses that came from his wife. His wife would ask for some powder or some bindi or sari once in a while, so he had to pay for that also. But things began to take a positive turn when he received a cable from his friend Purna, who was at the Oxford University. He had sent the copy of his novel Swami and Friends to Purna, and she she ran from pillar to the post to every publishers, to every writers, to get it published. And at last the Hamish and Hamilton publishers got it published under the influence of the writer Graham Greene. So his first novel was selected for publication with the influence of Graham Greene. It was a novel, Swami and Friends. Okay, and which was the publisher? It was Hamish and the Hamilton publishers. And gradually, his short stories were accepted around the world. And after that, his father died, in February 1937. I think. Please check with the textbook. And again, money was a big problem, the expenses. But now his brothers were also working, and they shared the expenses. He was also working. Arcane was working in a magazine known as. Actually, he was not working. He wrote humorous articles for the magazine, Merry Magazine. Okay, Merry Magazine. They lived in the now house named Ram Vilas. Then what? So towards the end of the chapter, he tells us about his third novel, The Dark Room. His second novel, The Bachelor of Arts, also got published under the influence of Graham Greene. I think first, initially it was rejected, but finally it got published. And so various kinds of income came to him. Mm, Now the the third novel, The Dark Room. So every day he disappeared in the morning for 3 hours because he found it impossible to write at home at that time because there were too many distractions, and his daughter was also 1 year old. So she would make all the fuss, and he could not write properly. Um, so so what? Um, yeah. So he went to the college union where the secretary had given him a room. So he shut himself in there for 3 hours, gazed on the green football field outside across the street, and spun out the fate of Savitri, the heroine of the dark room. He was somehow obsessed with the philosophy of woman as opposed to man, her constant oppressor. This must have been an early testament of the women's liberation movement. Man assigned her a secondary place and kept her there with such subtlety and cunning that she herself began to lose all notion of her independence, her individuality, stature, and strength. A wife in an orthodox milieu of Indian society was an ideal victim of such circumstances. He believed so. So his novel dealt with Savitri, this philosophy. Okay. So this is how the chapter ends. The Dark Room, once again read and approved by Graham Greene, was published by Macmillan in 1938. I had the unique experience of having a new publisher for each book, one publisher. And then perhaps he said to himself, hands off this writer, Hamish Hamilton, then Nelson, now Macmillan. This is how the chapter ends. Now you can go through the you can read it read the this chapter fully. It's not a short story. It is taken from this is a ninth chapter from his autobiography, My Days. So read it, and if you have any doubts, I have left out many minor details. You should read that and keep it in your mind, and try to answer the questions given in the glossary. I shall give you the PDF. Okay, maybe the answers I can give you of these questions. Please do remind me to give you the question answers. And again, I tell you, if you have any doubts, please contact me personally. Okay, so shall I wind up the class? Okay. So wish you a great day. Thank you.